$2 billion, maybe more. I know that sounds like a made-up number some Reddit thread pulled out of thin air, but it's not. That's the realistic estimate for what Rockstar has spent building this game, and once you see where that money went, it stops sounding insane and starts sounding almost necessary. We're not talking about a video game budget anymore. We're talking about the most expensive entertainment product humans have ever made. More than any movie, more than any TV show, more than any concert tour in history. So grab a drink, get comfortable, because I want to walk you through what $2 billion of game development really looks like, what Rockstar has confirmed, what's rumored but credible, and what's honestly just too good to be true. The money is the easiest place to start because it tells you everything about how seriously Rockstar is taking this. GTA 5 cost around $265 million back in 2013, marketing included. Red Dead Redemption 2, their last big swing, sits somewhere around $500 million. GTA 6 obliterates both of those without breaking a sweat. UK financial filings from Rockstar North, the main studio behind the game, show they spent the equivalent of over $2.6 billion on staff costs alone between 2019 and 2025. That's just salaries, not marketing, not servers, not motion capture, just paying the people who show up and build this thing every single day. Stack development, marketing, and online infrastructure together, and most credible analysts land somewhere between $1 and $2 billion total. But the number that tells you Rockstar isn't sweating it. Take-Two is projecting $8 to $8.2 billion in revenue for fiscal year 2027, almost entirely riding on this one game. When your projected payday looks like that, a $2 billion budget starts to feel like a rounding error. Real quick for perspective, Avengers Endgame, one of the biggest budget movies ever made, cost around $356 million. GTA 6's budget could fund 5 or 6 Endgames back-to-back. It could bankroll dozens of major Hollywood blockbusters. A movie plays for 2 hours and disappears from theaters. This game gets played, replayed, and monetized for the next decade. That's the real play here. It's not a product, it's a platform built to print money for at least the next 10 years straight. Okay, so where did the money go? Let's start with the engine, because everything else sits on top of it. Rockstar doesn't touch Unreal Engine or anything you would buy off the shelf. They build their own tech called Rage, short for Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, and it's been evolving since the early 2000s. GTA 4 ran on an early version, GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 pushed it harder, and GTA 6 is running on the most advanced build Rockstar has ever shipped. One confirmed upgrade is hardware-accelerated ray tracing, which basically means real reflections instead of the fake pre-baked lighting tricks older games used to cheat with. Think about GTA 5 for a second. See a reflection in a car window or a puddle on the street? That reflection was painted on ahead of time. It never reacted to anything happening around it. In GTA 6, the blue strobes of a police cruiser or that neon sign glowing outside a Vice City nightclub is going to bounce real light onto your car's hood, onto the wet pavement, even onto your character's face if you're close enough. The game is calculating actual light behavior in real time, which sounds simple but is a nightmare to render without tanking your frame rate. Rockstar's also confirmed way more advanced AI and a denser NPC population, meaning way more people on screen at once. And here's a confirmed detail people sleep on: draw distance. Most open-world games either pop objects in out of nowhere or blur everything past a certain range until you get close. Rockstar's shown footage where the horizon stays sharp and detailed way further out than GTA 5 could ever pull off, without destroying performance on console hardware. Not a flashy feature you'd notice in a trailer. Years of quiet optimization work that just makes the world feel right without you knowing why. Alright, now it's time to get into the stuff that's just rumored on social media but not officially confirmed by Rockstar yet, because I want to be straight with you about what's verified versus what's just really convincing speculation dressed up to sound official. So as per rumors, water in GTA 6 will react to weight and pressure in real time. Not just look wet, but behave like real water. A boat pushes through it, the water pushes back. Rain hard enough and roads could genuinely flood and stay flooded until the sun dries them out. This traces back to the 2022 leak, and nearly every credible source since has echoed it, so Rockstar hasn't confirmed it directly, but the evidence stacks up pretty well. Same story with the suntan mechanic, except this one's got visual proof behind it. Look closely at trailer footage and there's a visible shift in Jason's skin tone across different scenes. Multiple outlets have flagged this as evidence of a dynamic tanning system tied to how long your character spends baking in the Leonida sun. Wild little detail, but the receipts are right there in the footage. Physics is where Rockstar's always been ahead of everyone else, honestly. Their character physics engine is called Euphoria, and I want to be clear, this isn't a rumor. This is confirmed Rockstar tech that's been in every game since GTA 4 back in 2008. Euphoria is why characters fall and stumble differently every single time instead of playing the same canned animation over and over. For GTA 6, reports suggest this system also got a massive expansion. Punches connect based on real angle and force instead of triggering a preset animation. Body weight and momentum matter now too. Sprint full speed into a packed crowd on a Vice City beach and you won't just clip through them. Your character will shoulder check people, setting off a realistic chain reaction where bodies collide and stumble over each other like bowling pins. Vehicle damage is apparently getting the same treatment. Instead of cars denting into preset shapes, sources point to something closer to soft body physics, where every panel and part of the frame reacts independently based on the real force, angle, and speed of impact. If that holds up, no two crashes in GTA 6 will ever look exactly the same. NPCs also deserve their own moment here because this might be the single biggest engineering leap in the whole game, and I want to focus on the tech behind it rather than just the features, since we've already covered a lot of what NPCs actually do differently in another video. The architecture people describe is called an emergent behavior system, and the core idea is that NPCs aren't running as per scripts that trigger when you walk near them. They're running independent simulations all the time, whether you're anywhere close or not. There's a scene fans point to constantly where a gator wanders onto the road and half the pedestrians scatter in a panic while the other half whip out their phones for a selfie with it. Those aren't two animation states Rockstar handpicked. Supposedly, that's the emergent system letting different NPC personalities calculate their own reaction independently. The dialogue system reportedly works the same way under the hood, tracking which lines you've already triggered so it doesn't just replay the same barks, which sounds small but is really a memory and state tracking problem most open-world games never bother solving. Traffic and gang territory run on that same independent agent setup, at least according to what's leaked so far. So one accident could trigger a real pileup and a real reroute, instead of cars just clipping through each other like GTA 5. Gang territories are rumored to run on a similar simulation, shifting based on how powerful each faction actually is, instead of staying locked to the same zones for the whole game. And this next bit is what makes it feel less like a game system and more like an actual simulation. Word is, police get less aggressive in areas controlled by a powerful enough gang, hinting at some level of in-world corruption baked into how the sim weighs faction power. None of this is locked in stone, treated as strong rumor, but it fits the pattern of everything Rockstar has confirmed about how ambitious this game is trying to be. One thing that is locked in and deserves a shout-out: the PS5's DualSense controller. Rockstar's talked publicly about using the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback in ways most studios still can't be bothered with. Revving an engine and feeling it in your hands. Trigger resistance changing based on the surface you're driving on, so pavement, grass, and mud are all supposed to feel different in your palms before you even glance at the screen. Rumors also point to the controller buzzing differently depending on what's happening on screen. We're talking about feeling the gritty texture of gravel versus smooth highway through the grips, a distinct mechanical jolt when slamming through manual gear shifts, and heavy trigger resistance when you pull the trigger on a high-caliber weapon. Small details next to ray tracing and AI systems, sure, but exactly the kind of thing that makes a game feel expensive in a way you can't screenshot. And how does a PS5 even run all of this without catching fire? This is the part most people never think about. The PS5 only has 16 gigs of RAM, and GTA 6's map is reportedly double the size of GTA 5's. Rockstar's fix, based on industry reporting, is a genuinely aggressive streaming system that predicts where you're about to go and loads assets right before you need them instead of cramming the entire world into memory at once. Not some magic trick, just really smart engineering, and one of the most underrated parts of building a game this massive for hardware that's already 3 years old. So is $2 billion worth it? GTA 5 made its entire budget back in 3 days and went on to sell over 195 million copies. Analysts think GTA 6 could pull in $3.2 to $3.5 billion in revenue in its first year alone, not lifetime, year one. If that holds up, this becomes the most profitable entertainment product ever made, not just the most expensive one. The tech behind it is genuinely unprecedented. Some of it's locked in and confirmed, some of it's still sitting in rumor territory waiting to be proven true. But even just the confirmed stuff alone makes this the biggest technical jump the series has ever taken. I want to know what you think here. Out of everything we just covered, which piece of tech are you most skeptical about? The water physics, The NPC memory system? Or do you think Rockstar's actually going to pull off everything on this list? And here's the bigger question. Is a $2 billion budget smart business? Or is this exactly the kind of spending that forces every other game to cost more just to keep up? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe to Vercetti Vault if you want more of these before launch.